Sometimes, fisticuffs are enough to keep us enthralled.
Motherfucker!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movie fistfights. For this list, we're choosing the hands-on confrontations from film that were either ultra-violent, cinematically brilliant, emotional, or all of those rolled into one.
Shut up!
We're focusing on fights that don't take place in official sports venues, which means we're excluding Rocky and Snatch. We're also omitting any fight that is more kick-centric, or at least isn't only about the hands, along the lines of the Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris confrontation in Way of the Dragon. Oh, and heads up, spoiler alert. Number 10, Charles Bronson versus Gypsy Bronson. So, this is Charles Bronson, upcoming street fighter and wannabe celebrity. And what better way for him to showcase his abilities to the public than by brawling with a gypsy? In this fight, we get to see the mustache-donning Bronson, portrayed by Tom Hardy, display his true brute force by getting pummeled and doing some pummeling of his own. Not only that, but he finishes it all off with some dark Bronson humor by whizzing on the guy. Number 9, John McClane versus Carl, Die Hard.
Listen to me, it's a double cross, the whole roof of the building's wired.
This fight scene is great for the same reasons Die Hard is great. It's gritty, it's realistic, and well, Bruce Willis is shirtless and bloody. After John McClane has taken out multiple German bad guys, he is left to tangle with the beefcake Carl. In what can only be described as an extremely unchoreographed dance, McClane and Carl duke it out, with staircase scraps and hair pulls aplenty.
Should have heard your brother squeal. I broke his fucking neck.
And who can forget the memorable conclusion that leaves us all choked up? Number 8, Frank Martin versus Henchman, The Transporter. Take the multiple bad guys of a Bruce Lee film, as well as the gymnastically mesmerizing, and at times, comically entertaining prowess of a Jackie Chan movie, and that's what you get here. Portraying badass driver and fighter Frank Martin, also known as the titular Transporter, Jason Statham constantly finds himself tackling multiple bad guys, with whom he deals with aplomb through this action thriller. Take this scene, for example. While at a bus depot riddled with suits, all he has is his acrobatic abilities. Oh, and a lot of oil. Number 7, John Naida versus Frank Armitage, They Live.
Try these on.
So here is a guy who really wants another guy to try on his sunglasses. Seriously, that's the crux of this fight.
Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
Belonging to a film that can only be described as an alien trip wrapped in paranoia, we see wrestler Rowdy Roddy Piper take on Keith David in a messy pub brawl-styled fight in an alleyway.
Put on the glasses.
This encounter is so long and unpredictable, you get the impression that the actors just said, to hell with the choreography.
Take a look. Put them on. No!
Number 6, Captain America versus Winter Soldier, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Two superhuman beings head to head? That is what Marvel films are all about. Although they were friends in the past, the memory loss of Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, results in these two becoming adversaries. The scene has undeniably raw power, as you can see that both super soldiers are fighting with an equal mix of fury and desperation. Number 5, Bane versus Batman, The Dark Knight Rises.
Let the games begin.
It can be hard to decide who you want to win in a fight when both sides are so damn cool.
Your punishment must be more severe.
Although Bats is defeated early in the movie, he returns to Gotham all fired up and ready to tackle Bane again.
So you came back to die with your city.
Surrounded by Bane's henchmen and citizens of the city, we see these two fight it out in the street. Batman, growing noticeably stronger as the scene goes on, eventually beats the bad guy's butt by kicking him through a glass door. Number 4. Sherlock Holmes vs. McMurdo, Sherlock Holmes. Regardless of what you thought of Robert Downey Jr.'s incarnation of the great Sherlock Holmes, there was no denying that this slow-motion fight scene was brilliant. Hiding away in another one of his odd pastimes, we see Holmes partake in a bare-knuckle fight. After getting wailed on a few times, he decides to call it quits, but he just can't turn his back on a challenge.
First, distract target. Then block his blind jab. Counter with cross to left cheek.
What comes next is a blow-by-blow breakdown of combat genius. Number 3, the narrator versus Angel Face, Fight Club. This one is relatively short and sweet, and by sweet, we mean brutal. Upset over not being Tyler's golden boy anymore, our narrator takes his anger out on one of Project Mayhem's most fair-haired members. After knocking him down and climbing on top of him, he ignores the tap out and go limp rule and instead pummels his opponent's face into mush. His excuse:
I felt like destroying something beautiful.
Number 2, Jason Bourne vs. Desh Buksani, The Bourne Ultimatum. First off, we've got Jason Bourne jumping through a frickin' window. Bonus points for that. What ensues is a typical Bourne tussle, filled with smashed furniture, expert martial arts, improvised melee weapons, and gruesome injuries. But what also makes the scene so great is the over-the-shoulder camera angle, as we feel like we are inflicting and receiving each punch throughout. Before we unveil our number 1 brawl, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1, Neo vs. Agent Smith, The Matrix.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson indeed.
You're empty. So are you.
With all their guns out of bullets, we watch Neo tackle the seemingly unstoppable Agent Smith with the ultra-fast fight moves that the movie franchise has been renowned for. From punching out walls to being thrown through them, and producing lightning-fast haymakers to multiple mid-air kicks, this scene sums up The Matrix nicely with its gravity-defying, dimension-shifting action on steroids. And the magic all takes place in a grimy but all too fitting subway. Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite punch-up moment from cinema?
I want to tie you up!
For more black and blue top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Screaming, are you